All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises and all glory to
Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for
Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake.
We're the brothers from GMS Miami. I'm Brother Samak.
I'm your brother Zakaria.
Yeah, we're just going to go into how America's losing power.
That's right.
You know, it's clearly evident that this place is finished. It's on its way out. The military's weak. Hell, I just did a lesson yesterday. Even the CIA's weak. All right, they're losing informants. They're losing spies. And these are the indicators that America's losing power, all right, which is going to lead to its destruction, all right? The lake of fire is here in Babylon the Great.
That's right.
This is where John the Revelator and all the prophets, all right, saw this place be lit up like a Christmas tree, a.k.a. the nuclear missiles. All right, so we're going to start where Jeremiah chapter 50 at the top and see where the Spirit takes us. Because again, all right, America's losing power, and this all done through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right, to end this devil Esau Edom, the so-called white man's rulership.
That's right.
Okay.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, in verse 1. It says, "The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldees by Jeremiah the prophet."
Right, so the Lord's against America.
Yep.
All right, against Babylon. Okay, so the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, is against America. That is a fact.
Yep.
Okay, so and he's setting this place up to be destroyed. Okay, continue.
Yeah, he's talking about this Babylon, not talking about ancient Babylon.
Yeah, this Babylon, America, mystery Babylon,
Yep.
the whore that sitteth upon many waters, the thought,
Yeah, the thought
okay, the smut bucket, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so like it's Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 1. It says, "The word that the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldees by Jeremiah the prophet." Verse 2, it says, "Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not."
Right, and we are setting up that standard with the scriptures.
That's right.
All right, declaring that this place is going down, and we're not concealing it. All right, we're not holding back our tongue.
Right.
That's why we're bringing out articles that line up with the scriptures that this place is going down.
That's right.
Okay, we're not hiding. We're not saying we're going to be here another 1,000 years or 20, 30 years. We're saying this place is done.
Yep.
We're just waiting for the MOTB, the RFID chip,
Yep.
which is coming fast. All right, you see what's going on with the Bitcoin conference, okay, that's going on. I think it's happening in Vegas, all right, while simultaneously there's an XRP conference that's happening too.
Right.
How interesting is that? They didn't want to talk about that, all right, but me brothers didn't know what I'm talking about that XRP, all right, but what does that what does that mean, all right, for prophecy?
Right.
It's leading up to the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. They're literally setting up to get physical cash, okay, out of the system, and they're giving the people, all right, this digital, programmable, trackable, all right, cryptocurrency, because it's gonna be tied to that chip,
Right.
all right, and so it's coming,
Yeah.
and right when that thing is made mandatory, boom, this place is about to be lit up,
Yeah.
okay, nuked.
Yeah, destroyed.
Destroyed.
Like you going into, they making everything about to be digital because they already getting them going away, not making more pennies. So what's next? The dimes, quarters, and nickels, or they might just say fuck all that and just go straight digital, man.
Right.
Oh,
All it takes is an event, like a pandemic type event, right? But they'll call it a cyber pandemic, blackouts. Oh, ATM machines down. Your money's gone. But don't worry. Download this app on your phone. You're going to get all types of, this cryptocurrency. Or, if you're using Bitcoin, don't worry. It'll work here. All right. On this particular blockchain ledger, XRP ledger. But anyway, so, that's for another topic.
Right.
But you got it, brother.
This is back at book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 2. It says, "Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Murdoch is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces."
Right, and that goes to show you that, okay, America's idols, America's, worship the left-hand side is coming to an end, all right? All right, the Lord is breaking these pieces back, breaking it apart.
That's right.
Spiritually, and then ultimately physically. Because the scriptures say that He's going to come, all right, into the Isaiah 19. You know what I want?
Yep, we get that.
To get the idols. Okay, the Lord's coming Himself, Yahweh Shai, who He calls Jesus, so-called black man. All right, to rock. Okay, these idols, break down America's idols. All your little, obelisk and shit like that. You Freemason weirdo freaks. You got it.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19. I'll start at verse 1. The point is in verse 3 though. This is Isaiah chapter 19 verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at His presence.
See, the idols of Egypt shall be moved at His presence. Okay, the Lord's going to break these idols apart, man. Okay, when He comes. You got it?
Because like it says, Isaiah chapter 19 verse 1, it says the burden of Egypt, because America's spiritually code name Egypt also, man. America has different code names, Babylon, Egypt, just Rome all over again, you know. So Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1, it says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it.
You see that? The heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. That's where the point I want to get. Okay? These people are going to freak out. They're going to lose it. All right? And they're going to seek to their idols, and they're not going to be able to deliver them. All right? And the Lord is breaking it down. The whole America culture is being brought down, man. Okay? People are bitter. All right, people are not patriotic. That's why you're having a crisis for recruitment. Okay, and again, once again, you're losing CIA informants and spies. All right, because that goes to show you. All right, people don't believe in the American dream anymore. Right, they're seeing it for what it is. It's a nightmare. You got it.
Back at Jeremiah chapter 50, I'll read verse 2 again. It says, declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken down.
See? Her idols are confounded, her images are broken down.
Broken in pieces, like it.
Broken in pieces. Come.
Verse 3, it says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall depart, both man and beast.
That's spiritual, because I just came across a recent article where the Babylon the Great, is sending more military troops into Europe's northern front. All right, fearing war with Russia. Okay, this is breaking news. This is from the Wall Street Journal. So that goes to show you that they know. All right, that the northern countries talking about Russia. Okay, Russia. That's Russia. That's being prophesied. Okay, and see, that's why we like to use the news article. All right, to give the scriptures just color. That's all. Even though the scriptures are on point, we know that's talking about Russia. But hey, Wall Street Journal said the U.S. reinforces Europe's northern front, fearing war with Russia. Okay,
it's prophecy.
It's prophecy speaking. All right, can't stop it.
You want to read more?
Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 50 in verse 4, it says, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together.
Right, that's talking about northern and southern kingdom coming together under Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right.
All right, this truth, man. Okay, and that's how you know this is talking about America, Babylon the Great. This ain't talking about ancient Babylon.
Right.
Because the northern kingdom was already removed by the Assyrian Empire. All right, they were removed, and then they took a council amongst themselves and say, we're going to leave the heathen, all right, and serve the Lord in a land that in a land that no mankind dwelt, which is ours, which is over here in the Americas. You can read that in 2nd Esdras chapter 13. So this is talking about a future Babylon where the northern and southern kingdom will come together under Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, under the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay.
I'll jump down real quick. It's the same chapter. I'll jump down to verse 33. It says, Jeremiah 50 and verse 33, it says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Because we, like the brother's going into, we're here in America together, man. That's why Northern Kingdom catching hell fucking Esau trying to deport them and shit like that, because we all catching hell together, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Going to the stations and shit like ICE.
Yep.
Is Jeremiah chapter 50 in verse 4 again says, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their power.
Exactly. And that proves that, okay, when that happens, which is happening now, all right, America is on its way out. It's going to be destroyed.
That's right.
All right, so you're seeing this prophecy happening now. So it proves plantation Christianity couldn't have been the way.
Right.
All right, plantation Christianity has been around for a long time, including in the beginning stages of America. If that was the case, then America should have been destroyed if plantation Christianity was the way. But it's not. Right. It's talking about the children of Israel coming together in the last days, which shows that now it's time for America to be destroyed. Right. Now it's time for America to be judged for all its wickedness. Yep. And that's why it's losing power. All right, because now is the time.
Yep. Because when the great awakening is going to lead to the great destruction and the great deliverance, man.
Yep.
You know, Jeremiah chapter 50, I'll read verse 4 again. It says, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashemashai, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God. Verse 5, they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
Right, and that's happening now.
Right.
Which proves that, hey, we're almost out of here.
Yep.
And we're just waiting for that RFID chip, the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
And then the destruction as well as the deliverance, and they're coming simultaneously.
Yep.
All right? So we're here. All right? And that goes to show you again, plantation Christianity is not the way.
It's not the way. I had a precept because we've been gathered by this word, man. This is bear with me.
It says a covenant too.
Yeah, covenant.
Yep.
Who's the covenant for?
Yep.
Israel. This is the this is the book of Baruch chapter 4 in verse 36. It says, O Jerusalem, look about thee towards the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away, because we over here because we sinned against the Lord, you know. But the Lord, He's gathering us together. It says, lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come together. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. So we coming together, man.
This is the west.
You know, to the west, the Western Hemisphere, man. You know, rejoicing in the Lord. You know, all the tribes from Judah on down to Issachar, man.
Which prove once again, this is the sign that America is losing its power.
You're right.
America's on its way out.
Yep.
All right, by us standing on our feet, proclaiming our heritage, all right, proclaiming who we serve. That's the end. That proves that America's done.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're done.
Yeah.
And this is why America's is circling the drain, man. All right, we're just waiting for that RFID chip, the mark of beast, and it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming, man.
Yeah, because we got next.
That's right.
You want to read more?
A little bit more.
Okay, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
Right, and the bulk of our people are lost sheep, man, to this very day. All right, because they're still trusting in these wicked leaders among our people. You know, whether it be celebrities, whether it be these politicians, whether it be these, these podcasters. Jake a lost sheep. You know, influencers. Yep.
False camp leaders, like the other Israelite groups.
Yep. You know, eternal hell, fire. Like, bro, you basically saying the Lord has no mercy by teaching that doctrine.
Right.
You're gonna burn forever. You know, if you don't come under the banner of what we're teaching.
Right.
That's totally makes no sense, man.
Going off.
Right? Is Sodom and Gomorrah burning forever?
Right.
Okay. Eternal fire. It says it in the book of Jude.
Making them an example. Eternal fire.
Eternal fire. Is it burning forever?
Nope.
You know, it's just a memorial. It's in your mind. You know about Sodom and Gomorrah. That was burned by fire. It was judgment from the Lord.
Yep.
And there was no turning back. He judged it, and that's a memory. All right, and that's always going to be talked about, including this destruction that's coming to America. That's going to be talked about.
Yep.
It's going to be eternal.
Yeah.
The Lord judged America. All right, Babylon the Great. You know, with nukes and with the chariots. And that's going to be talked about forever and ever. It's going to be eternal.
Right. That's what it's like Jeremiah 16 said, it shall no longer be said the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, because we still talk about the Lord deliver us from from ancient Egypt. But this deliverance going to top that. So they're going to know the story, man. You know?
Yep. It's going to be eternal.
Yep.
All right.
It's like this, Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 6 again says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
And that's the bulk of our people. All right. To this very day, forgotten their resting place. All right. You have, all right, the scriptures, all right, and the truth. All right. And what's to come for our people. That's the resting place. Because the actual rest for us is the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
As being brought back to our homeland. All right. That's the real rest.
Yep.
Okay, but you've forgotten that. You think America, which is circling down the drain, is your rest. You think, okay, getting stuck in traffic, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And go work in a 9 to 5, that's your rest. Okay? Like, this is the end all be all. No, it's not, man.
It's not. The Lord said, this is not thy rest. I got a precept. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28 in verse, I start at verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So this truth, you have to come in as a babe. You got to get the basics. You know, knowing you're Israelite, knowing who the name of the Lord is. Because what? We discontinued from our heritage. Now the Lord is bringing us back. You know, through this word, via our teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. It says, verse 10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here, there. It's like here a little and there a little. So that's how you teach the Bible. You go from Isaiah to Ezekiel to Revelation to get the understanding of what you're talking about.
Right. That's why it's a shame to you pseudo-Hebrew Israelites, you know, talking about this whole, you're going to burn forever.
Right.
You know, where are the precepts?
Yeah.
You know, you just see one verse and all of a sudden you create a mad doctrine, a madman doctrine.
Right.
Okay?
Right. That's the spirit. You said that because I was watching them Bug Outs Genesis, a little bit of that video, and I was reading the comment board. Some dude said, he was like, I agree what you said, but there's not enough precepts to prove what you're saying.
Oh, so there you go. So, hey,
that was the spirit. I seen that today.
Yeah, there you go. That means who wrote that comment, he was in the spirit.
Yeah, he was like, I agree with y'all said, but there's not enough precept to prove that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that goes to show he's watching GMS.
Yeah.
Because we're going to come out with the precepts. We're not going to speak for our own opinion. All right? The destruction is the lake of fire. The destruction is the end all be all, man. Okay?
Yep.
When that destruction comes, that's it, man. All right? Now, the Lord can keep you in that nuclear fire to as long as he wants.
Right.
All right? But this is it. All right? After that, all right, the Israelites are going to establish law and order on the earth.
Yep.
Okay? And ultimately, as the scriptures say, all Israel shall be saved.
Yep.
So, again, you're basically saying the Lord's not merciful.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you know, let's get real deep. How do we go off? All right? Really, how do we go off?
Right.
The Lord made us go off.
Yeah.
Okay?
And this is his will.
This is his will.
Right.
Okay? All right? Everything from the beginning to the end was already preordained. So obviously the Lord's going to show mercy to his people.
Right.
You know, because he chose us from the beginning. Okay? Because I always look at that. Even though, you know, you don't use that as a clutch. Well, man's goings are the Lord. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, man's goings are the Lord.
Yeah.
So then, hey, it is what it is. Right. No, you do your best to serve the Lord, man. All right? Because Jake likes to use that. Well, man's goings are the Lord.
Right. All
right? And that's why the Lord's going to mess you Jacobs that know this truth.
Yep.
Okay? But the point is that, yeah, we all went off, and it was done by the Lord. All right? To make sure prophecy was fulfilled.
Right.
But the Lord still has mercy on his people. He still chose us out of all the nations onto him for himself. All right? So all Israel shall be saved, and that the Wada Yahweh Shai.
The Wada Yahweh Shai, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That sacrifice.
You know? But I wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that you can't, all right, push these crazy doctrines, thinking, pushing that the Lord is not merciful.
Right.
All right? Because at the end of the day, this is the Lord's will to begin with. All right? On everything.
Yep.
You know?
The Lord said He gonna have mercy on Israel.
Yeah.
Isaiah 14.
Exactly.
You know, yep.
Mercy. Come on, man. But both you Jakes, you gotta get it. You gotta get fucked up on this side, though.
Yeah.
You know, Lord gonna run you through a gauntlet.
Yep.
Then you gonna get hit with the nukes. Then you be alright after that.
Yeah, you'll be in your right mind.
Exactly. All right.
Yep. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 10 again says, "For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips in another tongue will he speak to this people."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I believe that's like mocking, when we go out there, we basically teach is plain, but the way we teach, you know, we mock it, we tell you the truth, man.
Yep.
You know,
stammering lips. Being barbaric. I think it's the word is when you go into stammering, I think it's barbarous or
barbarous.
Stammering. Let me just look that up real quickly.
Yeah,
look that up. Bear me one moment.
Rightly dividing the word.
Yeah. Here it is. With stammering lips. I think it's like barbarous or like being a barbarian type. The Hebrew word is la'ig. This is a la. This is an I. This is a ga. So la'ig. Mocking, buffoon. Where's that? Maybe I gotta go into the root word. Yeah. Mock. Speaking unintelligibly. I could have sworn had a barbarous, you know, being a barbarian. Barsuli. Maybe that. Yeah. A bar. There it is. To speak. Barsuli. There it is. Yep. Okay. Barba. There it is. Right here in the Hebrew Chaldean lexicon.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So I knew I saw some. Yeah. You got to constantly go back. Go back. You know. Yeah. A strange language, buffoon, jester. Yep. But if you go to the root word, it's barbarous. There it is. Yeah. Speaking in a barbarous or foreign tongue. There you go. There you go. Yep. Barbarous. Yeah.
So that's how the prophet spoke.
Yep.
It was Elisha or Elijah. He was like, go get your gods or something like that.
Yeah.
This Isaiah chapter 29 in verse 12. It says, to whom he said, this is the rest. So like the point was the scriptures is our rest, man. But our people, they're not coming back to the Lord, so their spirit is not at rest.
Yep.
It says, but the word, so like in verse 12, Isaiah 28 in verse 12, it says, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. All right, our people, they're not hearing, man.
Yep.
So that's why they go to different philosophies and bugged out.
Read 13. This is the way they're moving.
Yep.
But the word of the Lord. Yeah, you got it.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 13. It says, but the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken, snared, and taken.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Stumbling block.
And that's why you have particular Israelites talking about eternal fire, damnation, or Gog is going to come back after 1,000 years and overthrow the kingdom of Israel. Stuff like that.
Tripping.
All right? Snared up because you weren't chosen from the foundation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not part of the elect. That's just what it is. Oh, the main group still can't see that the R5D chip is the mark of the beast.
Right.
Even though they're clearly telling you they're getting away from cash and going into a digital crypto system.
Right.
All right? Like, clearly it's being set up for that chip. Nope, can't see that either.
Blinded. Is Jeremiah 50 and verse 6 says, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
There you go.
Verse 7 says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. And scriptures talk about their they don't, what was it, Zechariah? It says, I forgot how it's worded. They said, is the Lord that we made rich, roughly paraphrasing.
Oh, You talk about the possessors slay themselves and hold themselves not guilty.
Yeah, because he said we offend not. Yeah.
Zechariah 11 and 5. I believe.
Let me get that right quick.
I believe it's 11 and 5. Yeah, their possessors slay themselves and hold themselves not guilty. It also reminded me of the accuser of our brethren.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Yeah. You know, that's another scripture. That's another to back that. Yeah. You know,
this is Zechariah chapter 11. I start at verse 4. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not."
There you go.
Same thing, yeah.
Same thing. That's talking about our people, man. You know, and these heathens, all right, are justifying all their wicked deeds because the bulk of our people are moving like beasts, animals, you know. And then you have the leadership of our people that are selling out, doing being wicked, being deceitful, okay, and not telling our people the truth. Yep. So they're gonna, the wicked leadership of our people, you're gonna die a horrible death, and you wicked heathens, starting with you Edomites here in America, Babylon the Great, y'all gonna die a horrible death. This place still gonna get judged. Yep. Okay, it's circling the drain. America is on its way out. It's not gonna be able to protect itself.
Right.
You got it.
I'll read two more.
It's
done. It's Jeremiah 50 and verse 7 says, "All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers." Verse 8, "Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldees, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For lo, I will raise and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country."
Again, starting with Russia. All right, and that's why Russia's all over the news. Okay, Russia is a major threat to America. Okay, because this is the will of the Lord, so that prophecy can be fulfilled, and you're gonna have a lot of allies. All right, a lot of your allies, America, back Russia. This whole thing with Germany, all right, it's only temporary.
Yeah.
All right, and we were just going into the history.
Talking about it, yeah.
All right, when you go into World War II, look this up. The average American. Yeah. Okay, Russia and Germany were tight with each other all the way till 1941. All right, and what did they say? World War II started. When did World War II start? Hold up. When did World War II start? Okay.
39.
World War II started in 1939. So check this out. So from 1939 to 1941, Germany and Russia were tight with each other. Right. They were allies, you know, until something happened where Hitler decided he wanted to go into the Soviet Union, which was a stupid idea. Right. The Russians dominate in the cold, so that was a moronic move. But that was the will of the Lord to bring down these German Edomites. All right, Timon. All right, that's why there's no wisdom in Timon anymore. There are a lot of them just brain dead now. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they got some good technology, but all right, y'all been taking L's in these wars. Yep. All right, but the point is that Germany and Russia, it might be a little conflict. But that can always change, and Germany might switch. Will switch sides and say, we're going to join up with Russia and go against America. Yeah. Can easily happen. Yep. Okay, and World War II is a good example. All right, where Germany and Russia were allies for a point in time. Okay.
Yeah, the Lord said that the beast shall hate the whore.
Exactly.
The whore is America. The beast is what NATO, the EU. Like they're gonna have to switch up. So that article, Germany is helping Ukraine with their missiles and stuff like that. It's gonna switch. They're gonna come against America because it's prophesied.
Exactly.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will rise and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain."
There you go. That's the nuclear weapons, and that's what's coming, man. That's the future prophecy for this place. So America's out. All right, it's on its way out. All right, America's done. Okay, we're just waiting for the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, and that's it, man. All right, America is losing its power every day. All right, and you got to be a fool not to see this.
All right.
All right, and that's just the Lord blinded you so that you could be judged.
Yep.
All right. So you got anything to say?
Nah, that's it, brother.
So Lord willing us edifying. We want to give all praise and all glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it going. Keep the faith. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. We're almost out of here. For the few that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, pray to cover. Shalom.
Shalom.